Hello there guys, it's Mercy and welcome back to another product comparison. Actually, I haven't done this in a while. I think the last time I've actually done a side-by-side comparison was somewhere back in 5 months. It's been 5 months? 5 months ago, I compared the Sony WF-1000X Mark IIIs and the Aukey EPT25. But today I want to do something a bit more of the same kind of like same principle, something cheap versus something expensive. So about a month ago, I reviewed the Fantech XD3, which was a $45 wireless gaming mouse that has the Pixar 3335 sensor by Fantech, and I loved it so much that I ended up maining it for roughly about a month actually. But recently, for like it's been 2.5 weeks, I've been using the Razer Viper Ultimate as my daily driver for 2.5 weeks, and it's been my main compared to the Fantech XD3. So the Fantech XD3 has just been sitting on the desk, like right there while I play Valorant and all the games with the Viper Ultimate. So I won't do like a review of the Viper Ultimate because a lot of people done that already. It's a pretty old mouse at this point, but I want to do like a comparison. Is it worth it to spend $150 on a gaming mouse, or will you get something similar with a $45 one? So about triple the price actually. And let's talk about some differences and like which one I would love them for, and like is it worth it for you to pick up the Fantech, or should you spend a bit more and get the Razer instead? So let's talk about the very obvious thing. First of all is build quality. And I would say right off the bat, if build quality is what you're looking for, Razer is top notch. It is such a good mouse. This thing is built straight up like a tank. Basically no creaking, very solid, like no holes. Like this is one of the solid no hole mice I've tried in a while, and it's amazing. The Fantech XD3, however, is solid when I reviewed it, and I said that for 45 bucks. This is very amazing, right? But of course you have some flex here and there. I cannot show it, but there's a bit of flex by just putting a little bit of pressure on it, but it's really nothing major. It's very minor that I will honestly rate the build quality on the Fantech a top notch as well. So there's the build quality. Nothing bad to be said here. Even if you buy the Fantech, you don't have to worry about the side button actuating or the clicks creaking. Like none of that. This build quality is extremely solid. Let's talk about the texture and the buttons. So let's start with the texture first. And if you watch my Fantech XD3 videos, I complain about the texture being not horrible but not great. I hate the texture on the Fantech XD3 because, as you can see, it shines easily. It takes fingerprint easily, and it just doesn't feel that great. The side texture, however, feels amazing. It's hard plastic. It's a bit textured. Not PVD texture, but it's hard plastic texture, and this is an amazing texture. I wish they just put it on the top, but they didn't, so that was the nitpick I had with the mouse. Razer, of course, like have to one up that because this is a very good texture, and it's PBT texture, so it feels rough. It's not rough, but you can feel like the kind of texture that it gives, and it feels good. Like it's a very nicely textured mice. And on the side we have this rubber grip, which when I first hold it feels more like those textured plastic on those gaming mice, but this actually started to feel like rubber. And of course, if you buy the pink one or the Mercury white, you will of course get that dirty rubber. Look at that, it's getting dark already, but it's fine. It feels good in game. I know that some people don't like the side grip, but I personally find it amazing in game. I love it. It's so comfortable. And let's talk about the buttons. Fantech XD3 uses the Huano blue switches, 50 million clicks, and when I first have it, it feels good. It's super tactile, super clicky, not mushy at all. Sound test for you guys. So yeah, it feels good. It sounds amazing, and I never had any problems in game because it's very snappy. Like shooting in Valorant, you know, oops, Yeah, it just feels good, feels very snappy. But the other buttons, the side buttons, is a whole another story, because the side buttons here feels very mushy, but it's tactile. It's tactile but mushy. It's not clicky. So the problem with this is that the XD3 have a lot of post travel. The pre-travel is fine, but after you click it, there's just way too much. Oh, sorry. There's just way too much post travel that it feels extremely mushy to use, and sometimes I actually find myself kind of accidentally not click it because it's so mushy. But aside from the mushiness aside, it is a pretty good side button. It's very pronounced, and my fingers are resting on it pretty easily, so it's a very nice and easy to click side buttons. Just that please tension it so that it's a bit more clicky. The Razers, however, is a weird story. A lot of people complain that the side buttons is too flush to the body, and I can agree. It's very close to the body that it's almost non-existent, but it's a good thing, because the reason being is that they don't want you to accidentally touch the side buttons here, right? And I've never personally clicked this ever. Like, some people complain about it, but I've never actually actuate the side buttons here. And for people who's like, oh yeah, it's too inside, it's hard to reach, maybe it's my grip, but I find myself reaching this very easily, and I never have any issue with clicking them in game. And of course, Razer uses optical switches, so optical V2s, and I've used the V1s, but this one feels very nice. It's not as clicky as the Huano 50M here, but yeah, it's a lot better, and I actually really like how this clicks feels. And then the side buttons is also another story, because the side buttons feels amazing. It feels amazing, it sounds amazing, and it's so nice to use in game. And I disabled this outright, but I've never actually feel myself actuating it. So if that's a concern for you, it never happened to me, but I know some people that actually have experienced the accidental click on the side buttons. So yeah, we have build quality, textured buttons. Let's talk about sensors. And sensor is important because generally you want top performing sensor on top performing mice, and sometimes if you pay $150 for a gaming dollars, $150 for a gaming mice, you want the most top-notch sensor, of course. But my experience with the Fantech XD3, which has the, again, Pixar 3035, have been amazing. I've never experienced any non-tracking issue. There's no delay using the 2.4 gigahertz wireless dongle, and yeah, I actually never have any faulty experience in game. It just feels really good to use. And like I was never complaining. It's really good. Again, for the price. Again, remember the context of the price is $45 here, so nothing to complain about. But the Focus Plus sensor on the Razer Viper Ultimate feels faster for me. I guess it's just it's smoother, and it just feels like, I don't know. I really cannot translate in game, but flicking through Valorant, no issues. I've tried tilt smash. I don't use that in game, but I just want to test it out. No problem in that as well. Fast tracking, never an issue. I was playing Paladin, I flicked like crazy, no issue. So the tracking is amazing. It's super accurate. Playing with the operator on Valorant, tracking with the Odin and Ares, one tapping on Vandal. It's just a very good sensor here. So sensor, honestly, if you're a very competitive person, you might want to get the Viper Ultimate. But if you're just some casuals, this is really good. I really cannot explain how good this sensor is. Let's talk about the weight. Viper Ultimate comes in at 73 grams, so 73 grams for a fully wireless gaming mice. Amazing. And then the XD3 comes in at 83 grams, so 10 grams heavier. And before, a lot of people come and say, oh, you cannot feel the 10 gram difference. You can. It's very noticeable between these two. So if you want, again, the top notch, the highest performing mice, Viper Ultimate is the choice, but context price here. let's talk about the feature of the mice then. So Razer have Synapse, of course, RGB, of course. Honestly, this stock feed is great. I've heard people complaining about the feeds, but at my mouse pad, which is some OEM topography mouse pad here, it feels smooth. Like it just feels nice to play Valorant on. But the XD3, also just as a context, I've also tried the Viper Ultimate on the Fury S down here, but you know, I've mainly been using the topography mouse pad as my gaming one. But the Fantech gives a different story. The PTFE feed that Fantech uses feels okay. It's not as smooth as Razer's feed. It's a bit of drag to it. Like you can generally feel like there's a bit of friction. But using it on the Fury S doesn't feel right. It feels scratchy and it doesn't feel that nice. I don't know if you can hear that. That's the XD3 Viper Ultimate. It's really scratchy. So yeah, could be the mouse feed. I don't know, but if you want to make the XD3 a very good performing mice, you can easily swap the PTFE mouse feed here for something from Core Pads, you know, the S2. Just get anything in Zowie S2 and you can probably switch it. So if that's an issue, then you can easily fix that. But yeah, it does feel a bit scratchy at times. Let's talk about battery life. Fantech XD3 can easily hit about 1 week of battery life. This is because of the annoyingly good feature, the RGB turn off whenever you move your mouse. So RGB is going on, you move your mouse, RGB is off. Don't move, it's on. It's a bit annoying. If you don't care, just put on eco. So what eco does is just turn it off immediately, so that no RGB at all. Move it, no move, it's the same thing. But with 50% brightness through the software and about 1000 Hz polling rate, I got these mice up to 1 week of battery life before I need to charge. And it charges using Type C, of course. Meanwhile, the Razer lasts me about 4 days at 100% brightness and 1000 polling rate, of course. And yeah, 4 days, charge it via the dock. It's off screen somewhere. And let's talk about something. The Fantech cable doesn't feel that good, people. If you want to use it wired, sure, but it really doesn't feel that good. It's not that soft, but it's a bit rough, and scratching to a mousepad doesn't feel that good either. So if you want it, make it on the bungee, but I personally only have it to charge and nothing else. So yeah, that's basically it. $45. Again, I'm surprised that Fantech did something like this. This is amazing. I wish other people outside of Asia can get this, because this is a very good gaming mice. But if you own, or if you're wanting to own the Viper Ultimate and you can afford it, I recommend it. This is a very good gaming mice. And if I want to compare these two side by side, it's not fair. One of them costs like 3 times as much as the XD3 here. So yeah, it's honestly, if you have this, you should be happy, because this is such a good mouse. But the extra feature that you get from Razer is, of course, quality of life experience, because it just feels like the texture feels nice, the weight feels nice, the polish of the design feels nice. Because if you notice, my XD3 have this kind of like dimple on it. I didn't make this, it just happened when I first unboxed it. There's a bit of marks as well, so it's fine. It's nothing big deal. I never really wanted to set it back because of this, because again, very tiny matter. But yeah, which one would you pick if you have two choice? $45, $150, or if you live in Malaysia, 180 ringgit and 600 ringgit for a mouse. It's really up to you. But Fantech, it's been a month since I reviewed it, but I just have to say, you guys did such a good job on the XD3. Really impressed with what they kind of offer here. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy this, and hope you guys find this video useful. It's a bit long than what I usually do, but I want to give as much detail as I can about these two mice. And yeah, I hope I see you guys in the next video. Peace.